Here we are, people. Old school, new school, going back to high stakes poker with Gabe and AJ calling me losing. That's essentially what the show was. We could have called it that, right? All right, so this hand here, we're going to dissect old school and then we're going to go new school. I'm going to tell you what my thought process was at the time and what it would be now, factoring in all the new stuff. So in this hand, we both have about $200,000 in front of us. A lot of money, you know, and the blinds are 400 and 800, I guess, right? It's going to be less relevant, but anyway. Before we do that, we got to go back to old school. We're going to do old school. Old school. All right. So here we are here. I got the old pocket jacks, right? I'm going to go ahead and raise it to 2,800 from around the middle position. Hefty little raise there. Put the pedal to the metal. So then we got Peter Eastgate. He calls me with a pair of threes. David Benjamin calls from the small blind. He's got pocket fours. And Eli Lesra, he calls from the big blind. He's got the old deuce three suited, yeah? All right, whatever. It's fine, it's suited. So now we got 13,000 in this pot. The flop's deuce 4-7. 2 diamonds, right? And it's check to me. And I'm like, all right, there's 13-8 in there. I want it. You know, I want to put in a hefty bet, protect my jacks, deny equity, as the new kids say, you know? I'll bet 8,000. Bet 8,000, which is a hefty bet, right? Now, Eastgate calls me. Okay, cool. I mean, I'm okay with that. Guy call me with threes. It's fine. So Benjamin raises to 41,000. Pretty big raise. I got the overpair, though, so like I got what I'm supposed to have. There's a whole bunch of draws on this board that David could have, you know? He could be doing this with some sort of flush draw, straight draw type stuff. I don't know. Maybe he's got 2 10s, 2 9s, too. I don't think he's got aces, kings, because he probably would have re-raised me before the flop. So I feel like, all right, well, I don't know. What beats me? If he's got a set, so such is life, right? I'm not going to fold. I can't fold now. I can't just bet with an overpair and then fold because the guy check raises me. So I call. And now the pot's got 103,000 in it. The turn is a 4 of clubs. So now there's 2 flush draws and the board paired. And I'm like, this is a great card for me, right? Now I got jacks and 4s. So I don't know. Feels like, well, he probably doesn't have a 4 in his hand. Like, what 4 would he have in his hand? I don't think he has a 4. So now Benjamin goes ahead and bets 35,000 into 100. Okay? So I'm thinking to myself, I see what you're trying to do here, David. Okay, you have a draw. Okay? You check raise the flop because you were ready to get it in with your 5, 6 of diamonds or whatever. And now I called and the board paired and you're like, oh shit, I still want to draw, but I don't want to pay what Daniel's going to bet, so I'm going to make a little small bet. And I'm going to just try to squeeze in for 35,000. But no. D-Negs is not going to let you do that. Right? He's not going to let you go ahead and make this small little goofy doofy bet. I'm going to deny you the equity, and I'm going to go all in here with my overpair, which at the time I was very proud of, and I thought, good job, D-Negs. You stuck it to him. But it was David Benjamin who actually fucking trapped me. Yeah, he trapped me good, man. The guy had quads, and he bet the turn. He bet a little small bet, you know? Maybe he was thinking like, oh, I'm going to give Daniel a good price if he's drawing. Because maybe he thought I was drawing, so he wants to make sure he doesn't lose me as a customer, right? I guess that's what I thought of back then. So, yeah, one of the tough hands I lost. And now let's break it down once again, new school style. Okay. Raise it up, 2,800, 2 jacks. Seems pretty good with a relatively high ante in this game that played relatively loose too, and it's deep stacked, so when you are playing deeper stacked, you can increase your raise sizes, which is what I did here. Peter Eastgate calls with 3s, which is fine. Benjamin calls from the small blind with 4s. And Ellie defends his big blind with deuce 3 suited, which is certainly getting a really good price, you know, so there's no fault there. Now we got 13,800 in the pot. Flop is deuce 4-7 with 2 diamonds. It's check to me. In this spot, I still believe that I have range advantage, right? Because it's a little tricky though, because, you know, a lot of, when you're deep stacked, people do play a lot more suited connectors and small hands like that. Having said that, the suited connectors don't usually look like 7-4 suited or deuce 4 suited. They're more likely to be, you know, 5-6 suited, you know, 6-7 suited, stuff like that. So, I mean, it looks like a really good flop, and it's a spot where I can actually bet size. So, actually, my size is good here. I bet 8,000 into 13.8. Could probably even, yeah, I think it's actually quite good. You know, we're pretty close to right around 2/3 pot. With my hand, you know, makes sense. I don't have the jack of diamonds in my hand, which becomes relevant in the new school analysis, not at all old school. I didn't even give a shit about stuff like that. So anyway, I bet the 8,000. Eastgate calls the threes. This is marginal. I think in a multi-way pot with players to act behind, you probably can just fold the threes here, especially because of my sizing. If I would have bet quarter pot here, you can peel with the threes. But I think against 2/3 pot or whatever, he should fold his threes. He calls. Now Benjamin check raises to 41,000 with middle set. It's a pretty big raise, but it makes sense, you know, with the hand that he has. And he's doing it on a board where he's repping enough bluffs to make it credible, right? If this was 7-4 deuce offsuit, now when he check raises there, he's saying, you know, because when you're check raising, you're saying with this kind of size, you're saying I have a nutted hand or I have air or I have a draw of some kind, right? Well, on a 7 deuce 4 rainbow, there isn't as many draws that he can represent credibly, but on the suited one, you know, there's a lot. So when he check raises here, you know, going through the combos of hands that he has, okay, so he could have 7-4 suited, 7 deuce suited, 4 deuce suited. He's not going to have any of those offsuit combos. He can have pocket deuces, pocket fours, pocket sevens, right? For value. I don't think he's ever going to show up with queens, kings, or aces here, as played. So that's really all I'm worried about for value. There's not a lot of that. When it comes to bluffs, there's a ton. Ace-5 of diamonds, 3-5 of diamonds, 5-6 of diamonds, maybe even 6-8 of diamonds, maybe any 2 diamonds. Could be queen-jack of diamonds, could be king-queen of diamonds, just like any flush draw with overs, right? He could put, you know, he could push her. He could even be doing this with 5-6 of clubs. There's just a wide variety. There's a lot of combos. You see, I just rattled off a whole ton that are bluffs. So that allows him to choose the size when he's nutted as well. And he does, and I like it. So I, of course, haven't just a slam dunk call. I think this is pretty much what a solver would suggest to do like 100% of the time. I don't think it makes a lot of sense to just get it in on the flop. I think it makes more sense to flat at our stack depth, so I do. And now the turn card is a 4 of clubs, bringing the backdoor club draw. Now it eliminates value combos. Why? Huh? What do you mean eliminates? Well, there really is no just a 4, right? So the 4 eliminates combos of 3 4s that he could have. Now there's just one combo, right? There were 3 before. Now there's just one. So 1 combo of 4s, 3 combos of 7s, 3 combos of deuces, 7 combinations total that had me beat. It's nothing. Now, what bluffs could he have, right? Well, he bets 35,000 into 100. This makes a lot of sense, frankly, with some continuation of his, you know, combo draws that he could have. Like they said, the 5-6 of diamonds, all these types of things. So in this case, the real question is, you know, not whether I should be folding, because that's out of question. You can't fold. Like I said, there's only 7 combos that beat me. The question is, do I raise now or fold, or raise now or just flat and let him get, you know, the cheap price? And I think it's close. I don't know. I should run this one, but I imagine a solver would use a mixed strategy of jamming, which is what I did, and also flatting. I think my hand is probably a little vulnerable. And you know what? Listen, the fact that I don't have the jack of diamonds, what does that do for you in terms of seeing, okay, so if I had the jack of diamonds, what does that change for you? Okay. It should change one thing. It eliminates a decent number of combos that he could be bluffing with. Okay. So I don't block any of his bluffs. I don't have the jack of diamonds, which means, okay, you know, you could have jack 10 of diamonds, you could have jack 9 of diamonds, a whole bunch of hands. So against these hands and his range in this spot, considering there's so little value and a lot of hands that are getting really good equity, I actually like my jam. And maybe I'm wrong here. I'm open to that because you do need to think about protecting a calling range in a lot of spots. I don't think this is one of them on this board. And the other key factor is this, is when I jam, the question is, am I balanced? Can I balance this jam by having the correct number of value combos as well as draws? Yes. I mean, I could have freaking clubs. I could have all the same hands that I mentioned David could have. 5-6 of diamonds, 3-5 of diamonds, 5-6 of clubs, all these types of hands. I could go ahead and do that with against the small size, looking at it as maybe, you know, weak. I really think David was very, very smart to make this small size, and I think it's a good size that he chose with specifically his hand. You know, he wants me in, obviously. He can't lose his pot, and he's trying to just give me a really good price to draw. So I think David played the hand really well, but to be honest with you, I don't think I blew it. I think this was just kind of unlucky. Maybe, like, I don't see how I'm supposed to just get away from these jacks as played, right? It does suck because it's $200,000, but David's a crafty enough player. You're not dealing with an ABC guy who's like just going to always have freaking quads or a full house when he takes this line. You know, David is going to be pretty balanced here and maybe even bluff heavy, frankly. So I think doing anything else than what I did to a T in this hand is correct from an old school perspective or a new school. Now, my reasoning in the old school analysis was very different than what you heard in the new school. But, you know, just because old school players or players like us didn't have solvers to tell us like what the right answer was, didn't mean we didn't hit the right answer a high percentage of the time, right? So this is an example of I had no access to solvers, but if you run this hand in a solver, I'm pretty sure, frankly, on both our parts, both me and David, the solver would be like, A-okay. Hey, you guys go ahead and run it and let me know in the comments down below. Whoever runs it, run it, put it in there, and I'll get involved with the chat. Curious to see it myself. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed yet another old school, new school hand analysis. I mean, I wish I had more high stakes poker hands that I won. There just wasn't that many. It wasn't a good run. So anyway, such is life. Hope you enjoyed it, as I said. Till next time.